Hello and welcome to this weekend weather video. We're going to just go over the weekend weather. I don't always do this, but we do have some smoke, so we have to talk about that. Obviously, you noticed it, especially today. It's been a little hazy the past couple of days, but today was really a lot more noticeable. And you can see here on the satellite imagery that you can see that smoke, that denser area of smoke, all from the western wildfires, kind of creeping southward from the north and the east. I'm hoping now we get into some of the somewhat less smoky air off to the north, but whether we're going to have any really nice blue skies, I'm not really too hopeful on that. We will look at the smoke models, but we have been seeing the smoke in our skies. We'll take a look at the sunset from yesterday. First of all, you can see the smoke. Those aren't clouds. That's wildfire smoke. So that's the sunset from yesterday, and then today, our sunset was really red and orange here. This was today, and you can see how orange that sun is. The picture here. Look at that. That's a very orange sun. So you definitely have haze from wildfire smoke around. Most of it's aloft. It's not at the surface, but it is creating a hazy look to the sky for sure. So we'll go look at our current conditions across the area. And I don't know. There are no restrictions to visibility or anything like that. Temperature's not quite as cool as it's been. 68. Dew points are now into the mid 60s, so yeah, a little bit of humidity out there. Definitely feeling that. Just briefly go over the highs today. Upper 70s, low 80s. Generally, that seems to be what we've got this light onshore flow. Lows getting into the 50s. Still 48 in West Hampton. Still got into the 40s in the Pine Barrens. Very interesting. I have a feeling they probably had fog, too, because I know there was some reports of fog. Interesting, the dew point there is reading 57. Seems like it dropped again. Yeah, the winds went to the north again over there. But I'm sure in the morning they had some fog. They have some clouds being reported, because I'm sure they had like a fog layer out there. Let's see, yeah. 4 miles. The visibility went to 4 miles. Interesting. So it seems like they didn't really have too dense fog, but there is a chance of fog, that's for sure. And we are running above normal, so if we look at the observation here from iSlip, you'll see high of 79 and low of 57. The high was 3 degrees above normal. The low 57 still 3 degrees below normal, so actually still at average for iSlip. But note that we've hardly gotten any rain this month. 0.11 inches of rain. And we're having quite a long stretch where we haven't seen any rain at all. Over a week now. Almost over a week. So it's quite a long stretch with not much rain at all. So things are quite dry. Look at Central Park, too, as well, where it was warmer inland, obviously. High of 82, low of 63. They're running 3 degrees above normal for the day. So, but very little rain, and that's a concern. And we're going to have to watch for here. No red flag warnings have been issued because at least we don't have really dry air in place. But let's hope before we get some rain eventually, because it's been. So there is an air quality alert listed. This is Pennsylvania only that has an air quality alert. But there are some air quality. If we go to the AQI here for New York. For instance, you'll see that we do have some yellows. Long Island had green, but tomorrow is for yellow, and Sunday, actually no, today is for yellow, and tomorrow is yellow as well for Long Island. So we are seeing some air quality issues, obviously worse in New York City, at least by the coast with this light easterly wind. Again, we have a light, if you look at the wind at iSlip, you'll see the winds for today. We had a light south wind pretty much most of the day. Southeast. So an onshore flow, keeping the coast cooler. And it's a shame because we would have had nice blue skies. And it would have been great weather, but unfortunately we got all this haze in the sky from wildfire smoke. We still have all these fires burning out west. We're going to look at that. It's been looking a little bit better, I think. We'll go to the southwest here and just do Pacific, do U.S. Pacific coast. Kind of show us everything out here. So you don't see quite as much smoke emanating from here now. Definitely not quite as much. Definitely looks a lot better than it has been, at least. So hopefully eventually we'll get rid of the smoke. But if we go to the Conus view, you'll see all the smoke that's around the country. And you can see it up here, mainly in the northeast, the Great Lakes, and also wrapping around the remnants of Francine as well. We have some of that smoke as well. These are the remnants of Francine, and they're stalled here because we got this big high-pressure system over us. You can see that big high over us. That's going to keep all this kind of suppressed for a while. This is post-tropical storm Francine. If we look at the Hurricane Center, you see here's post-tropical cyclone Francine, but it's still bringing a lot of rains. We have Gordon, which is a weak tropical storm, 40 miles an hour, not going to bother anyone. It's going to stay out in the ocean. But then there's watching another area that could form along the stall frontal boundary off the southeast coast. So let's look at the models as we go into this weekend here and just show you, again, we're going to have high pressure building down. You can see that low, but that high is pretty strong, and it's going to keep that low kind of stuck over the southeast there. And it's not until that high starts to finally move away as we get into, see, this could become a tropical system or some kind of hybrid. That's going to be pushed into North Carolina, and then that's going to be pushed westward. But we may get into some of the rain from that as we get into Wednesday and perhaps Thursday of next week. And we'll talk more about that on Saturday. I'm mainly just talking about the weekend here at this point. But there will be more rain in the southeast, and we know it's been pretty wet there. That's why if you go to this weather and hazards map and you pull that out, you'll see there are some flood advisories and even some flash flood warnings in some parts of the south as the remnants from Francine affect this area, and they're just stalled there. So if you look at the 36-hour rainfall, you'll see some areas have gotten a couple of inches of rain from it. So taking a closer look at our area for this weekend, I'll go to the HRRR. Should have most of that in now. Looking at our dew points and wind flows. Obviously, definitely feeling a little more of that humidity. It's not going to be quite as... Dew points definitely... It's not going to be very humid, but there's a slight bit of humidity in the air. We still have that east to southeast onshore flow for tomorrow. That continues on Sunday. And Sunday, the winds are probably going to pick up a little bit because we're going to have that pressure gradient between that low developing over the southeast and the high. So we'll probably have a stronger southeast wind, and that might cause some rough surf. Temperatures, obviously, are going to be very similar to what we've been experiencing. Lows at night, generally around upper 50s to low 60s, unless you're in the Pine Barrens, where it might be colder. And then tomorrow, again, inland, you're going to probably see temperatures maybe a little bit warmer than today. Maybe we'll see some mid-80s. Maybe some western parts of Long Island will get a little further up into the 80s. But coastal areas will cool off once again. And then you can see on Sunday, it turns out to be cooler, quite a bit cooler, actually, with that stronger easterly flow. Temperatures only in the 70s. And it's interesting to note, look at this little bit of cool air that's right in the Gulf of Maine. That's kind of interesting here. There won't be any precipitation, so I'm not even going to show that. Sky cover, obviously this doesn't account for the smoke. We may have some low clouds and fog along the coast, but then that clears out by afternoon. These clouds kind of just stay off to the south here, these clouds from that stall frontal boundary. And then as you get to later Sunday, actually kind of get pushed a little bit. It's like there's a little bit of a battle going on, but pretty much for most of our area, except maybe southern New Jersey, you won't see too many clouds. There may be some marine stratocumulus maybe at times on Sunday, but other than that, as we get into Monday, that's when we'll start seeing maybe some more of those clouds get a little closer to us from that system. But, we'll talk about that, obviously, Sunday night. So, yeah, I know we don't have too much of this model in the smoke model. We have most of Saturday in, so I'll just go to the old one here because we have more of that in, and we'll show you the HRRR smoke model, just show you what we're going to be dealing with here with the smoke. So I think tomorrow it might be a little less hazy. You can see that really thick. Looks like it's trying to bring in some a little less, but there's still smoke around, so there'll still be haze in the air. Maybe Sunday, I think, would be our day that we might actually get to have a little more blue sky, perhaps. I think that may be our best chance to see some blue sky at this point. But other than that, I think that's going to wrap things up. So enjoy your weekend and have a good night.